So I did graduate from Chico State, but my journey didn't really start here. I started off at San Jose State wanting to be a criminal justice major. About a year into that, I realized that's not what I wanted to do, so I didn't transfer to Chico State, and it took me 5 years to graduate college, guys, so don't beat yourselves up. If you make choices along the way, it's okay. You'll get there. So I'm going to kind of talk about being a female manager. I am a project manager still. As a VP, I still manage some of my own jobs. I won't let go. Being a female project manager is a little different, but I think it could apply to every business. My business particularly is pretty much male dominant. I'm going to go back a bit and I'm going to talk about myself. I grew up in this industry. My maiden name is actually Bjork. So I didn't start off at Bjork Construction either. I started off at Boyette Construction. And I had a mentor that pretty much taught me the business and how to handle the business, because it's a little different. I grew up stacking lumber with my dad on a Saturday, getting it ready for the framers on Monday. I also would present billings to clients. I did payroll sometimes. I've worked my way up to estimating. And now I actually am one-on-one with clients in onboarding and procuring contracts. Currently, my biggest client that I work for is PG&E. I have a team of 4 PMs that directly work for PG&E. I oversee them and their project engineers. We have a custom home division, and when I say custom homes, our custom homes are typically 8,000 square feet and over. Our biggest home we've done to date is 24,000 square feet. I don't know what you would do with that, but people seem to want it. And then we also do rough carpentry framing, and that's with wood, so that's wood stick framing. Project management in a nutshell. So it's a little hard because it's like dealing with everyone from the money all the way down to the laborer with the shovel. So I work one-on-one with the design team, the owner, the scheduler, the superintendent, and sometimes I even have to go down and talk to my subcontractors to make sure they're making their deadlines or when there's issues on hand. So I always call myself controlling chaos or being a grown-up babysitter. So I do want to talk about being a woman in my industry a lot, because when I went to Chico State, there was actually 4 girls in my graduating class, me being one of them. I'm told this year there's actually going to be 132 female graduates in the construction management, which means our industry is changing. And I'm going to share a story real quick about the industry. I currently have a contract for Grainger. We do all their stores and maintain them. And Grainger's a store. It's like you can go buy pretty much anything you need to fix your house or anything. And I one day got an email from my client, and I realized that he had CC'd all of his contractors on it. And I'm looking at all the names, and they're all women. And I wrote him an email back because I have a pretty good relationship with him, and I said, "What's your deal? Do you only use women contractors?" And he writes back, "I wouldn't use anything else." And I kind of called him on it. I said, "What do you mean by that?" And he said, "Women pay attention to detail. They think it through, and they finish the project without having to call me. And when they do have to call me, they already have a solution to fix it." And that kind of warmed my heart a little bit, made me feel good, and I sent that out to all the female project managers in my company, because it's kind of true, guys. So there's 4 things that I've done in my career that have really helped me. I had one experience that made me really grow, and I remember after that experiencing realizing that I needed to apply these 4 things all the time. I had a project kickoff meeting for a large project. It was about a $7 million project, which isn't that big, but it was big enough that I had a project kickoff meeting with the design team, my subcontractors, superintendents, and myself. And I remember everybody's in the room, and I get up to talk, and one guy goes, "When's the project manager getting here? I need to speak to him." And I said, "Well, I am the project manager." And he looked me up and down, and he said, "No, you're not." And at that moment, I realized, you know what? I need to make my voice heard, and I need to make it heard in the right way. Because most of the time, being a woman in my industry, you're going to get called the B word a lot. So I can talk louder, and I can repeat myself just as much as you can. So don't be scared to do it. there's a lot of things in my industry where people come off loud, rough, and tough, and it's just because they're trying to make their point. But guess what? I can come off just as loud as you can. Don't be shy of making your point. If you know you're right, say it, but make sure you're right, because if you're wrong, they're going to hold you to it forever. Be assertive in giving your direction and making sure that your team's following through on those directions, because if you don't see if they're following through, it's going to reflect on you. Ask questions of the team. The biggest thing is to ask questions of these guys that do it every day. They know what they're doing. Ask them. I'm not out there building and framing. I'm not out there plumbing, and I'm sure as heck not an electrician. So I make sure that I talk to my subs, I talk to my suppliers, and I talk to my own employees about what they need. Baby boomers teach, and that's something that I feel is very lost from my generation to baby boomers. Baby boomers thinks we come in and we know everything because we have these college degrees, and they kind of give us that attitude. But at the end of the day, I've noticed that if I'm willing to listen and apply what they teach me, it can go a lot farther, and I learn a lot more. I get a lot further from it. An example here, this project in the corner closest to me, that's a cofferdam that is in the middle of the bay. That was my first cofferdam project I'd ever done. I didn't even know what a cofferdam was when I did the project. But this guy right here in the hard hat with the life vest on, that's my foreman. He pretty much held my hand through that whole experience and made me a cofferdam expert. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten there and I wouldn't have succeeded. But he was willing to teach me, and he was willing to be a team player. And that's something, as our company, we are small. We are family owned and operated. We are only 120 employees, sometimes up to 180. But at the end of the day, we're very close, and we like to keep that team mentality. If one person fails in our team, you're all failing. And I'm going to take that back to management. As a manager, if your employees are failing, reflect on yourself and make sure that you're guiding them down the road that they need to be on. That's my dad in the corner right there. He is my biggest mentor of all. He's not the easiest to talk to. He's definitely your typical rough and tough contractor. But at the end of the day, I noticed if I listened, he taught. So take the experience that they have. They have 30 plus years of experience doing what they're doing. Listen to the baby boomers. They will teach you. And you will become amazing project managers if you listen to your team all the time. Make sure you're listening. They're doing it day to day. Once you become above and you're the boss, you're not doing it day to day. So just make sure you pay attention. And that's all I have. Thank you, guys.